Welcome to Zeitgeist. I'm Zuri, that's Alistair, and today we're covering the end of the longest-running will they won't they in tech.
TikTok. The ban. The deal. It's finally over?
It's finally over. As of January 22nd, TikTok has new American majority ownership. The deal closed, the drama is done. But what actually changed? That's the interesting part.
Okay, so walk me through this. Who owns TikTok now?
So, the new ownership structure is a joint venture. Oracle, the database company, owns 15%. Silver Lake, which is a private equity firm, owns 15%. And MGX, an investment firm backed by Abu Dhabi, owns 15%. Together, that's 45% controlled by this American-led consortium.
Wait, 45%? That's not a majority.
Right. ByteDance still owns about 20%, and another 30% is held by affiliates of existing ByteDance investors. So while it's technically American majority, a lot of that majority is made up of people who were already invested in ByteDance.
That seems complicated. Does ByteDance still have any control?
This is the key point. According to an internal memo from TikTok's CEO, ByteDance will still control the money-making parts of the business: e-commerce, TikTok Shop, advertising, marketing. The new American owners, they're focused on data security and algorithm oversight. So ByteDance gave up ownership, but kept the business operations.
Interesting. So what was this whole thing about in the first place? Remind me why TikTok was supposed to be banned.
April 2024. Biden signed a law giving ByteDance 270 days to sell TikTok or face a nationwide ban. The concern was national security. TikTok has 170 million users in the US, and China's national intelligence law technically requires Chinese companies to share data with the government if asked. So the worry was always, what if Beijing has access to all that data?
And TikTok fought it in court?
They did. All the way to the Supreme Court. TikTok argued it was a First Amendment issue. The court disagreed. January 2025, they upheld the law. The ban was set to take effect January 19th. That deadline passed to Trump, who gave them an extension to negotiate this deal.
So, the deal that just closed, what does it actually mean for people who use TikTok?
Short term. Probably not much. The app looks the same. The algorithm that decides what you see is still the same algorithm. It's just now licensed to the American joint venture and managed by Oracle.
So, I'll still get the same For You page?
For now, yes. But there's a catch. There's some uncertainty about how much of the algorithm technology China will actually approve for transfer, so the scrolling experience might evolve over time depending on what Beijing allows.
Wait, so China still has a say in this?
They do. China has export controls on AI technology, including recommendation algorithms. So while the US demanded this divestment, China gets to decide what intellectual property actually leaves the country.
That's kind of ironic. What about privacy? Was data security the whole point?
Here's where it gets interesting. The new setup has something called Project Texas. All US user data is stored on Oracle servers in Texas, separate from the global platform. Oracle inspects the source code. Third-party auditors and a government oversight committee verify everything.
That sounds pretty robust.
It does. But there's a new wrinkle. TikTok just updated its privacy policy, and the new terms allow them to collect precise location data from your device, like GPS-level precision. Under ByteDance, that was explicitly banned. Now it's not.
Wait, so under Chinese ownership, they didn't collect precise location, but under American ownership, they do?
That's what the new privacy policy says. If you have location services enabled, they may now collect precise location information. Critics are pointing out this is exactly what American tech companies like Meta and Google do. So in trying to protect users from China, we may have just normalized American-style data collection.
What are critics saying about this deal overall?
Cybersecurity experts have been pretty blunt. One of them, David Kennedy, said, quote, "We're just basically switching one government for another. The concern isn't just China anymore, it's whether the new structure enables American government surveillance instead. We solved one problem, maybe created another."
What about the valuation? How much was TikTok's US business worth in this deal?
$14 billion. Which sounds like a lot, but analysts say it's dramatically undervalued. For comparison, Meta trades at about 10 times its annual revenue. TikTok US makes over 10 billion a year. At that ratio, it should be worth 100 billion. Some say this deal represents maybe a third of the true value.
So ByteDance got a bad deal?
Not necessarily. ByteDance still gets at least 50% of the US profits through license fees and profit distributions, even with only 20% ownership. So they're making money on the algorithm, on the infrastructure, on the relationships. They just don't control the entity anymore.
Who's actually running things day to day?
The new CEO is Adam Presser. He was previously TikTok's head of operations and trust and safety. There's a 7-member board that's majority American, so the governance is American, even if ByteDance keeps influence through the business contracts.
And the ban threat is completely gone now.
For now, yes. The divestment satisfies the law. ByteDance's stake is under 20%, which meets the threshold. But regulators will be watching. If they decide the new structure doesn't actually address the national security concerns, we could be back here again.
So, years of drama, and we ended up with American-ish ownership, Chinese-controlled operations, and new data collection. Is anyone actually happy?
The 170 million users who didn't want to lose their app are probably relieved. Investors who got in at a discount are happy. But the privacy advocates who wanted reform, the national security hawks who wanted a clean break from Beijing, they're both looking at this deal thinking it didn't quite get there.
Classic DC compromise. Everyone gets something, no one gets everything.
Pretty much. The TikTok saga is over. For now, we'll see if this structure actually holds up.
Thanks for breaking that down. If you want to stay on top of stories like this, hit subscribe. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. This is Zeitgeist.